Our next guest is the breakout star of the Hangover trilogy and the voice of Kim Lee. You heard it there in the animated movie Turbo, which comes out tomorrow in theaters. We welcome comedian Jeong to the debate desk. How are you?
Well, thank you guys for having me.
I am a fan.
And the feeling is so mutual. Fan of all three of y'all. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, so should we call you Mr. Chow, or what do we do? Call you Ken?
You can call me
what
Chow.
Do we do?
You can call me anything you want. Chow, Ken, Kim Lee. Hey you, you're wrong. Whatever you want to say.
Mr. Chow.
Yeah, you can call me Chow. Call me Leslie Chow. Leslie is fine.
So tell us, why did The Hangover work?
You know what? Hangover is the best ensemble I've ever worked with. And whenever I come from ensemble comedy, and to me, it reminded me of the '04 Pistons, where in the first movie, no one was famous, no one was a star, but we all knew our roles. And I was like the Shane Battier of the group. I came off the bench and I'd jump out naked out of a trunk or something like that and do my little version of a three-point shot. But I really took a lot of pride in the fact that we all not only got along together, but we really had this great chemistry, much like a great basketball team. You just you could almost, and by the third movie, we could read each other's minds of like where we're gonna go comedically, and there was never any competition or any jealousy or any petting. It was such beautiful work to do behind the scenes.
Was Bradley Cooper like Chauncey Billups? Was he more the leader, the big shot maker?
Yeah, I think Bradley Cooper, he had the most experience at that time. He definitely was like the Chauncey Billups of '04. Yeah, I would have to say he's the MVP,
He's big time, no doubt about it. I love his work, and Silver Linings Playbook, he was absolutely sensational, no doubt about it. I did wonder why Mike Tyson was asked to sing even more extensively in the scene. I did have concerns about that one. Outside of that, I loved him.
Well, I think he sang deliberately to provoke that reaction. Exactly.
Yes,
so we can talk about it. It worked. So we talk about it 2 years later. It had that much of an impact.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So you're a big NBA fan.
Big NBA fan.
We got to start with Dwight. How surprised were you he left the Los Angeles Lakers for the Houston Rockets?
I'm not surprised. I think, I'm not surprised at all. I think that was the right move for him. Don't get me wrong. I live in L.A. I've done Adidas commercials with Dwight Howard, Fast Don't Lie a few years ago. I love Dwight, and I wanted him to stay in L.A. I really wanted him to stay in L.A. Emotionally. But as a fan, as a basketball purist, he had to go to Houston. It makes a lot of sense to me because, he has all the leverage in the world. Why not exercise that clout to go into a place where he is wanted? Everyone said exactly the things he wanted to hear.
Right.
And you know what? I'm not saying that it was always the right move. Look, the fan in me would have loved for him to stay in LA, gut it out a few years, and when it becomes his team, that would be remarkable. But quite frankly, he didn't want to stay that long, and it wasn't like they didn't play together. It was like dating. It was like Dwight and the Lakers dated for a year, all right? And free agency was the breakup. Things didn't work out. They weren't communicating well, just like in any breakup, and they just kind of moved on.
Ken, do you think that the rap that they're getting, or Dwight specifically, is that he couldn't handle the pressure?
No. I don't think that at all. I think that if you look at his averages, if you look he averaged, I think, 17 points a game and 12. And his career average is like 18 and 12. It wasn't that far off. And he had a torn labrum, and he had a bad back. That's pretty good. He is going to destroy in Houston. Mark my words. He will destroy. Yeah.
Championship?
I don't think it will be a championship, but I think he will. I think they have a shot to go to the conference finals if the Clippers don't get there first.
Mr. Chow.
Yeah.
When you look at this situation that involves Dwight Howard, are you of the mindset that he left because Houston was simply a better opportunity, or more so because he wanted to get the hell away from here because the Lakers, the organization, the fan base focused on the tradition, the Mount Rushmore of big men from Mike and the Chamberlain, the Jabbar, the Shaq, and he didn't want to be a part of that? What do you think was a bigger reason as to why he left?
It was a better opportunity, and I think at that point in time, in that meeting, from what I've read, it wasn't like Kobe was rolling out the welcome mat saying, like, this is your team. And I think... I'm just speculating. You interviewed him, but I'm just speculating. He didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear that from Kobe. He would have rather have heard, this is your team in a couple years, as opposed to, let me show you how to be a champion. I mean, Dwight, not a champion yet, but he has been to the finals in '09. He did quite well from what I remember, so he knows how to win. And I think that he wasn't being courted the way he should have been. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that because, in my opinion, he had all the leverage. He was an unrestricted free agent. And in my opinion, with all due respect to the new Lakers organization, they should have danced that dance and kind of said the right thing. That's just my opinion.
The fact that they didn't, do you blame Kobe? Do you blame Mitch Kupchak? Or do you blame Jim Buss?
With all due respect, I think it all starts with management allowing Kobe to say what he wanted to say, being forthright, which I love about Kobe. He is honestly one of the top five players of all time. All right, so don't get me. And he is a warrior. You talk about playing through injury. No one plays through injury like Kobe. But at the same time, yeah, I really, with all due respect, I think it's pretty obvious to me. I think management should have said, "Hey, guys, let's just play this dance and see. Let's get Dwight. He's the best center in the NBA. We need to keep him." And you know, it's. To me, that he wanted to hear that, and he had every right to want to hear that. That's just my opinion.
Quick point of order. On this show, you don't have to say, with all due respect. We
oh, that's right. It's disrespect.
Just do it. Yeah, with all disrespect.
With all disrespect.
With all disrespect.
That's a 9, that's a 10, that's a 11, that's a 12.
Thank you.
I didn't know.
Great.
Point of order. With all disrespect. Yeah. Listen, you know, our viewers may not know this, but you're a licensed physician. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was a practicing doctor, and I still technically have my.
So when you were in Knocked Up,
yeah,
you know that was really
That was you.
That was you.
That was me.
You weren't acting.
Well, I was delivering a fake baby.
Well, you're a great actor, and I'm sure you're a great physician. But your bedside manner in that movie wasn't the greatest. I mean, you were kind of mean to her. That's not how you treat your patient.
No. That to me is a doctor on a bad day. However, it is kind of like every doctor's fantasy when you have. I wasn't saying her character was necessarily a difficult patient, but it was kind of this fantasy fulfillment of what a doctor could say to a difficult patient.
Right.
I was kind of extrapolating that emotion a little bit.
Gotcha.
It was kind of therapeutic.
I got you.
Well, look, let's relate this to Kobe. Kobe says he's doing well after the Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Do you think, doctor, he will be ready to go when the season starts?
Well, I mean, he's a black mama, so spiritually, mentally, emotionally, he's ready yesterday to come back. Medically, from what I read, it's 10 to 11 months, just for a normal human being. So the body's got to recover. I mean, the body, it's an Achilles rupture. I mean, the body's got to recover.
Let me give you a prediction. Let me give you a prediction with Kobe Bryant. Everybody's been talking about, first game of the season. I'm going to tell you when Kobe Bryant, I believe he's going to come back. Christmas Day. Knowing Kobe, Christmas Day. You want to show up.
Wait for showtime.
You wait for showtime.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Showtime.
That's fair. That's fair.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. I mean, it was heroic what he did, shooting 2 free throws with a ruptured Achilles tendon, making it. I got choked up. I got choked up as a basketball fan.
Well, he was choked up while taking the free throws because he knew it was the end.
He knew it was the end. He has such competitive spirit, not since the likes of MJ I've ever seen.
Kobe's one of the top 3 competitors, maybe, in history.
I agree with that.
Comedian Ken Jeong, thank you so much for joining the Debate Desk. Turbo in theaters tomorrow. You're the voice of Kim Lee. Everyone should check it out. How'd you feel? You want to disrespect them?
Oh.
With all disrespect?
With all disrespect, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.